Hello and welcome to Maximum Power Up. I'm Paul. Today I want to do a video looking at a new magazine that I've just added to my collection today. So we'll get on to that just in a few quick minutes. First of all, I just want to say a massive thanks to Aaron Timpson, who's just basically helped us a little bit behind the scenes, obviously, on our YouTube channel, adding in a few nice little touches to our last video, and we're obviously having a bit of a chat with him and coming up with some ideas between us to add a few new things to the channel as well, and some new ideas for videos and stuff like that, because we know it's something that we do need to improve on as well. And there's also Julian from the team as well, who I need to have a catch up with, and we've started knocking about a few ideas to just make the channel a bit more varied, so it's not just me sitting here chatting about magazines, something that I do enjoy, and it's always great to get like feedback and discuss different comments and people's memories from some of the magazines that I touch upon. So yeah, all that will be to come down the line, and as well as pick up videos and stuff like that. So at some point we want to add more gameplay videos as well and stuff, just like I said, to make it a bit more varied and things. The day I'm recording this, our new episode has just gone out, which is basically looking at favourite Capcom games between 1984 and 1994. So there's a lot of great games there to choose from. So it's not one that I was on. Phil, Jake, and we had Alex, Nintendo Arcade, on making up the panel, so it'll be interesting for me to hear what the games they've chosen as well. But yeah, other things that I've just picked up just before talking about the main magazine I want to discuss today. Picked up a few issues of, I've covered this once before, Zero Magazine, which was a great multi-format magazine back in the very late 80s, early 90s. So there's a few issues of that, which I think was about £7 including postage, so not too bad at all. That picture there of Jeff Minter still makes me laugh because he looks like the dude from Big Lebowski, even though this magazine's a lot older. That's a great game. I remember playing that many years ago. Another World, first time on the Atari ST in the early 90s, and then we just got the other couple of Zero magazines there. Got that one now as a double, so I do need to have a sort through and see which ones I can get rid of, because I know I've added quite a lot of magazines to my collection recently. Also, which was still trying to build up my collection of Nintendo Magazine System, which then a bit later on became Nintendo Magazine, because I keep saying I want the first 60 issues. I think I currently need 2 or 3, which then covers the Super Nintendo era fully. I'm going to touch upon this just for a quick minute, that's all, because there's not too much Super Nintendo stuff in there. A lot of it then was just N64, even though it's still saying it's for N64, Super Nintendo and Game Boy. This issue here, 57, with Star Fox 64 on the cover, that's from June 1997, and really the only Super Nintendo stuff in here is just a few little tips and cheats and another part of the Terranigma Player's Guide. So at least now I've got all the issues with that Terranigma guide in. There's one quick games review, something I've never ever played, never ever will. Some Japanese baseball game, which gives 73%. So and by the time you get to 59 with Goldeneye on the cover, it really is just down to just a couple of tips, no reviews or anything like that. So really by, I think, issue 60 when I do pick that up, which I think has got Extreme G on the cover, you're just down to nothing at all, really. So on to the main thing, really. This came today. Now, GamePro was an American magazine, but American Games magazine, obviously. Now, I remember buying this every so often, same with Electronic Gaming Monthly, the two import magazines, some of the local shops for local people. Some of the local shops where I lived did get some of these issues in, not every single month. And as I said on the show so many times, I used to buy loads of games magazines, even for consoles I didn't have. So GamePro sort of stood out because it's, well, straight away, it's listing all the different formats there, but obviously with it being American, you've got Genesis. Now, this only cost me £1, which isn't bad at all, £2 postage. The only downside is that there are some pages missing. I really, really, really wish eBay had mentioned that. The only thing that's missing, say only, is the Battletoads pull-out section, but it is about 40 pages, looking at all the different Battletoads games on the different systems. Now that's a shame in a way, because it would have been good to have a look at it, after we had Kev Bayliss on the show last year, who worked on some of the Battletoads games. It would have been good to, take some pictures, send those over to him. Anyway, can't do anything about that, and again, it was cheap enough magazine. So with GamePro, I had sort of like early memories of buying a few issues, because back then I'd gone away from the home computers. I had the Super Nintendo, so it was great to see a lot of titles that didn't come out, in the UK, even though you did see a couple of these games, in the import shops and stuff that we had quite local to us. Sometimes, the artwork was a lot different. That's what I'm going to be showing in a few minutes. So you will have a chance to have a quick look through this magazine with me, because it is a really thick magazine, 220 odd pages, something like that. 240 odd pages. The one thing I do remember though about the American magazines compared to the UK ones is the amount of adverts that were in them. There was absolutely loads. But I've just had a quick flick through, bearing in mind it's the first time I've seen this issue, and this is one that I did used to own, this particular issue. It's the first time I've seen it for 25 years, getting on for now, so it's quite some time. So obviously I'll have a flick through it, try and share some of my memories, and obviously as usual, get involved, tell me what you think of the magazine, the layout and stuff like that, whether or not you bought any of the games. On the cover here you have got Bubsy the Bobcat mentioned, which I absolutely hate, so no doubt I will give that a bit of a slagging, really. I just still can't stand that bloody game. But yeah, okay, right, here we go. We have got GamePro magazine from January 1993. I don't think it was numbered. I think it was just like the months and stuff. I'm not even sure if GamePro is still going. I know that EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, folded, but I don't know. I'm not too up on what the current US gaming magazine market's like. Anyway, let's have a look at GamePro. So here we are with GamePro magazine. As said, an American magazine from January 1993. And just want to have a quick look through this magazine because, as said, I think the layout of the American magazines was a lot different to the UK ones. Obviously, in the UK we have Future Publishing, which had loads of different titles on the newsstands, and you also had Europress, who were big in the early 90s, and you also had Paragon Publishing. So the only American magazines that we really saw over here were GamePro and Electronic Gaming Monthly. So just want to have a quick look at this magazine. So as mentioned just a little bit earlier, there were a lot of adverts in these American magazines, but it was also good to see the advertising campaigns of some of the way the Americans would do things. So here we've got Prince of Persia, one of the early Super Nintendo releases, and then next to it we've also got Sega Mega Drive control pad of a Genesis over there, and then we've also got a pad here for the Super Nintendo, and then we've got the contents pages and another advert for Empire Strikes Back on the Game Boy. I'm just going to just move in slightly just to that. So on a quick look, so as you can see, it breaks it down into the different companies here. Well, it's not companies, the different consoles and what games are covered for them. So just zoom in, if anything really interesting is shown in here. So we've got some Mega CD stuff there, Wonder Dog, and then we've also got the editorial page up here, and it also shows a bit further down here GamePro's game rating system, which was very different to what we had in the UK in regards to there's like little pictures here like this. I know when you saw things like Mean Machines, they have like happy or sad faces, but to break it down to all these 1.0, 1.5 and so on, and 5 for your ultimate excitement, just looks something a little bit different. So again, I said loads of different adverts, but Simpsons obviously were absolutely massive back then, Acclaim having a license to quite a few of the different Simpsons games, and also videos. Well, I know the Simpsons videos in the UK, were quite popular because it was mainly down to Sky who showed The Simpsons. It was Ages Till Channel 4 showed it. So, moving on. Now, this is somewhere, because I'm not from America myself, software, etc. So, just having a quick look at some of the games here, which are on offer. A few dollars off different titles. So you've also got the Mega CD there for $300 there, and then you've also got money off the Atari Lynx. Must have been on its way out by then, I'll just have a quick look at just a few Super Nintendo ones there. Some fairly rarely early releases there. Mickey's Magical Quest, great game. Mystical Quest up here, something that we've discussed a little bit, which is an alright game, it's just very easy. And then you've also got the letters page, more adverts, believe it or not, there is actual content in this magazine. And then you've also got like bits of news here. What else have we got? An advert down here for The Lost Vikings, great puzzle game. And what we've got here, some games there by Hudson Soft. Sunset Riders on the Genesis, absolutely fantastic game, came out on the Super Nintendo as well. We've got some arcade news here, so just zooming in a little bit, we've got Virtua Racing. That was a massive game when that came out. I remember playing that for the first time. It was just really did look something totally different. And then a game called Space Lords, one I'm not actually aware of. And then we have also got one called Moto Frenzy, never ever played that. And then Bucky O'Hare, scrolling beat 'em up. And this is something I've played a little bit recently on the chipped Xbox and coin ops, for a ROM of it. Then what else have we got? I've got here for the Game Gear for Sonic 2. We've also got Mega Man 5 review for the NES. So the NES still had a few big games coming out for it. And just zooming into there. So big fans of that. 4 being the worst thing there for sound. But as of Super Nintendo taking over, it's sort of expected. And then you've got a few other games here on this Quattro arcade done by Codemasters. So if we broke it all down into the separate games, rated each one. We've also got some more adverts. Now, I do remember actually owning these 2 issues. So I thought this one that I'm looking at now was the very first GamePro that I owned. But I'm remembering the Chester Cheetah one and also this Street Fighter 2. And then what else have we got? A game called Overlord on the NES. So quite a few games for this. And we've got advert here for Top Gear. We've got Batman Batman meets Radioactive Man. So yeah, still a lot of NES titles. And yet another one here, Tiny Toons Cartoon Workshop. Something never played or seen before even. And that's had really good reviews. So every other page at the moment does seem to be an advert. We've got this, I can't pronounce it right, Phalanx, a shoot 'em up basically. It's known for its notorious awful cover art, as you can see here, why is there an old guy playing a banjo? But it's meant to be a really good shoot 'em up game. You've got Indiana Jones Chronicles. You've got an advert here for the Menacer. Not a great add-on, you know, not too many games to it. You've got a review for Sonic 2. A lot of UK mags absolutely love Sonic 2. Games Master gave it a very bad rating. Something that we discussed when we have the Games Master magazine lot on the podcast earlier on in the year. So just looking down there, again, high scores all around. So we've got some more Sonic 2 stuff there, looking at a few of the different levels and zones. We've got Road Rash 2, which is an absolutely fantastic game. One of the things where, if you're a Mega Drive owner, you were lucky to have that series, you know, on your system. Turtles Hyperstone Heist, not as good as things like Turtles in Time and stuff, but still not bad. You know, it has good ratings down there. Now this one I find just really odd. I do like Gods, and I played it a lot, you know, on my Amiga and ST, and I've actually got it on the Mega Drive, but this is just what I want to look at. It's so highly rated. The Mega Drive version doesn't play amazing, you know, but they really liked it, whoever reviewed this. Galahad, or Legend of Galahad, again, another game that came out on Amiga. I think it was called Leander, something like that. Got some more adverts. Then we've got Universal Soldier, which was basically the same engine as Turrican, and then given a bit of a reskin. Not a good review there, though. Then what else have we got? Some more Turtle stuff there. That's actually quite a nice advert there, you know, it looks really, you know, colourful and everything. Jumps on the page, definitely. Flashback, yet another Amiga conversion. And then we've got Wonder Dog on the Mega CD. So, God, they were really impressed by that. It's a game I've never ever played. I had a friend who had a Mega CD. I've owned a Mega CD myself, but never really that many games for it. Cobra Command. Pigskin Football, what else? NBA game. We've also got the arcade collection for the Mega CD, you know, with columns, Streets of Rage, etc. So now we are just in a bit of a Mega CD special, or Sega CD as it's called there, as well, or sometimes known as Sega CD, I should say. So it's looking at a few of the different titles. It's a console I've never actually been that bothered about, you know. You got the Terminator, I think that's meant to be an okay game. Secret of Monkey Island, you've got over here. Anyone who's, you know, into your adventures, you've probably played Monkey Island. Out of This World, also known as Another World. And then what else have we got here? A game called Wolfchild, which again was on the Amiga. You've got now a couple of pages of Battletoads. Looking at the arcade game and the Super Nintendo version. Nope, just missed a page there. Excellent game. Cybernator on the Super Nintendo. We're giving that all top marks, and you see why. As I said on the show, I'm absolutely awful at it, but it is a really good game, and it still looks amazing now, you know, all these years on. Wing Commander. Mario Paint, which, I don't know, I've never owned Mario Paint. I remember as a kid borrowing it, and they've given that some really good scores though. Mystic Quest, advert there for that. Musha, not fantastic scores. I've not actually played that on the Super Nintendo. Robocop 3, something that I've just never really been bothered about. Feature there, well not feature, sorry, an advert there for some third-party controllers. Game here, King Arthur's World. It's a bit like Lemmings, set in medieval times. Use actually the mouse as well. Well, I'm 90% sure it does. I've not played it for quite some time, but enjoyed it as a kid, thinking back. King of the Monsters, a game which is alright, but not too bothered by it. What else have we got? These, nope, advert here. by a company called Chips and Bits. Buy 4 and get 1 free. So you've got loads of games there for sale. So what we've got, Streets of Rage 2, $56. Still a great game. And then we've got Dragon Slayer, and we've also got a preview of Bubsy on Super Nintendo. As said, I absolutely hate that game, still stand by that. Now this is where, as mentioned, some of the magazine is missing, this Battletoads pull-out section. Bit annoying when that happens, but luckily there's still enough of the magazine to flick through. What else have we got? Advert here by LGN. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Looking at Terminator, Aliens and Predator. We've got the Super Scope games, which just aren't great at all. I'm surprised they rated them at 4. What else have we got? Terminator 2, the arcade game, which isn't too bad, but I just think it wasn't really a good piece of kit at all. Chuck Rock on Super Nintendo. And what else have we got here? A game called Dragon Slayer on the Turbo Super CD, something I've never actually ever played. Where we've got Prince of Persia and Forgotten Worlds, both on the Turbo Duo CD. Let's have a quick look at them. Quite highly rated, at least for the Forgotten Worlds. Zoom back out again. Some more adverts. Game called Summer Assault on Turbo Chip. Don't even know what that is. I'm going to be brutally honest there. What else? Chase HQ, another version of it. Something, again, machine I'm just not up on there at all. And what else have we got? Okay, we've got Sonic Blastman. So this is called Overseas Prospects. So it's looking at a few up-and-coming games based from over in Japan. So you've also got Ranma Half, which is not a bad, one-on-one fighter. It's one that I've actually owned when I had my Super Nintendo as a kid. Then we've got some feature here made in Japan. Jimmy Connor's Tennis. Some sports back pages where they're just doing a load of sports reviews. I'm not going to spend too much time looking at those, but they're keeping all the sports stuff held together in one little section. Have it there for Mega Man 5. Still doing sports games. God, they really are a lot of them. Have it here for Turtles 2. So Turtles at the time, still absolutely massive. More sports stuff. Have it there for Mick and Mac Global Gladiators. And then we've got some handheld reviews coming up here. So on the Game Boy, we've got Mega Man 3. Again, some really good scores there, definitely. We've got Bonk's Adventure. And an advert there for Skulljager. We've got Yoshi and Starhawk on Game Boy. Games I'm not too up on. And an advert here for Combo Tribes. Now, this is a game I loved on arcade. I had it on Super Nintendo fairly recently, but it's not really that great on Super Nintendo. But it's good to see, that sort of American advert. And then when you see things like this Chester Cheetah, if you remember, it's Cheetos. Pretty sure it didn't get the UK release, but it did obviously get the American one. And feature on Game Gear, Predator 2. Joust on the Lynx. What else have we got? Okay, some tips cards for Battletoads. Then we've got some very, very small, quick, small previews. Home Alone 2, awful game. Best of the Best. What else? Ariel the Little Mermaid. Wolfchild. That Combo Tribes that we just talking about. Game Boy stuff. So just very quick, small snippets What else have we got here? Some hardware helpers. So having a quick look at things like, you know, the Game Genie, the third-party pads, this one for the Mega Drive. Had one like that for the Super Nintendo as a kid. In fact, that one there it is. God, that's me not noticing. Just moving on to the last few little bits here. We've got some tips and cheats. What else? Looking back to back issues and special issues and things like that. So, you know, chance to order some of those. Or GamePro shades here. And also some GamePro products, videotapes and stuff like that. Some more tips and cheats. And more tips and cheats. Something called, oh god, that looks awful. Just having a look. Deadly Moves. Which looks really, really bad. Never actually played that. I'll see if I can find a ROM of it, because I'm a bit morbidly curious over that. And what else? Tiny Toons on the Game Boy. If it's anything like the Super Nintendo Mega Drive versions, I'm sure it's a good game, because they're absolutely fantastic. Really, really are. And then we've also got an advert here for Sewer Shark. Some more adverts. We've got a bit of news on Sonic the Hedgehog comic. Some Street Fighter 2 trading cards. Collector's coins. So it's looking at all these different things. So last couple of pages now, and then that is absolutely everything. I said, really thick magazine, you know, there's loads of stuff in here. The Blockbuster Top 10 Video Game Rentals. Well, Blockbuster's not going anymore. So let's just have a quick look. On the NES, Tecmo NBA Basketball. On the Super Nintendo, NCAA Basketball. On the Genesis, Sonic 2. What else have we got here? Another advert there for, I think it's, oh no, another mail order company. Some more pads and Game Boy accessories. GamePro TV, something obviously that we didn't get over here. And then last couple of adverts there. And that is absolutely everything, finishing there with Lethal Weapon. So, I said that was GamePro magazine. It's not one that I'm really going to collect. Just wanted to, you know, pick one up, give it a quick look through and everything, and just share some of my thoughts and memories there. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, keep an eye out. We'll be putting more videos out, mixture of type of content as well. And again, hope you enjoy the show and the videos that we do. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.